Welcome to Silicon Valley Asian Business Talk.
Hello, everyone. This is Roger Chen from University of San Francisco Center for Business Studies and Innovation in Asia Pacific. Today, we are very pleased to welcome Beerud, Sheth, to join our interview program. I want to sincerely thank you, Beerud, for joining us. Would you please briefly introduce yourself?
Roger, thanks for having me here. Excited to, share my thoughts and experience and I guess pay it forward. I've just a quick personal and professional intro. So I grew up in India. I went to undergraduate school at the Indian Institute of Technology, that's IIT Bombay. And then I came to the US for grad school at MIT. All of that was in computer science. I had a short stint on Wall Street, right? Which might be surprising, but it's also very quantitative. So they hire a lot of kids from STEM programs. But then, and that was in the mid 90s, and around that time, the internet happened. So that's when I said, okay, this is a game changer. I want to focus on building internet companies. And, so I've been an entrepreneur since then, a serial entrepreneur. I founded my first company called Elance in 98. Elance, and it's now called Upwork. It's a public company. It pioneered the gig economy or online freelancing, and it continues to scale and grow very nicely today. And later in the mid 2000s, I think 2005 or so, I founded this company called Gupshup, which is the pioneer in conversational engagement. And I'll talk more about it as well soon. But, essentially we help businesses build conversational experiences or chatbots to engage with their consumers. And this is particularly relevant globally in the emerging markets, which are mobile first and messaging centric environments. So a little bit like what WeChat has done in China, the same kind of idea, a super app is emerging in the other emerging markets as well. So we build tools, enterprise tools. We help businesses take advantage of that.
Using multi-level sales pitches to acquire customers.
In a B2B, typically you have users, but these users are slightly different from buyers. And when you're talking about getting the product out, let customers try it, spread the word of mouth, typically you're talking about the users. But how do you kind of connecting the users to the corporate buyers in your case?
Sure. I think you're right. I mean, in an enterprise, there are multiple sort of stakeholders.
Yeah.
They have different objectives, and you need to cater to all of them, right? So usually for users, they like the usability and the convenience of using it, but the execs are often looking at it more strategically. They want dashboards and reports, for example. So good analytics is one way to address it. But the other is also, at the senior level, you want to lay out a vision and a roadmap, okay? Because a senior exec is not just saying, I have this problem and I want to solve it today. What they're looking for is, I want a partner who can help me today, tomorrow, and, in the future.
Very good point, yeah.
So it's a bit like, you want to get married. It's not like a date, a single date that you're going for. Right? When you think of it that way, think about how you make those decisions. I mean, if it's a date, it could be anybody. Sure, why not? Let's go for coffee or something, right? But if you're going to enter into a long-term relationship, you think about not just the attraction of the moment, but you also think about what it's going to be like in the future. You imagine a joint future together, and you want to have that. The senior execs will typically have that perspective. Now, but then the actual users might say, okay, well, yes, but I want my first date to be fun as well, and so on, right? So it's sort of, there's both a short-term and a long-term aspect. There's a tactical and a strategic aspect to it.
Right.
And then you have to cater to both of those, yeah.
But typically, kind of, how do you approach your customer? Do you start with the users, or you start with the decision makers, the more high-level executives, when you try to develop new customers?
I think we take a dual-pronged approach, right? Because again, in our organization, we have people at different levels, right? So the sales teams in particular themselves will be reaching out to, more to the users, or maybe, the managers who have the purchasing authority. But what I personally also like to do, and I get our management team to also do, is to leverage personal relationships, reach out to senior execs or founders, and so on. Because it depends on what you're selling, right? In our case specifically, I talked about a platform shift, right? It's somewhat disruptive.
Yeah.
When things like that happen, right, the way most enterprises or large organizations are set up, it's only sometimes the founders or the senior execs, that have the authority to disrupt and change, what they've been doing for years.
Right.
And sometimes somebody deeper down in the organization may either not feel comfortable or may not feel confident enough to take such a large decision without support from the higher levels. So and sometimes it's hard to even have a conversation about a platform shift, a paradigm shift, about transforming and disruption and so on at that level. So I think we have, there's a different sales pitch, there's a different level of engagement and different level of interaction, and so on, right? So you want to operate at both levels. I don't know if you can just do one or the other. You kind of have to do both. And that's where we use, so for example, when we launched our conversational cloud, I mean, I personally recorded a video talking about our vision and the roadmap and how this product fits in. The salespeople will have very, very specific slides saying, okay, here's how the conversation cloud can help a bank improve its customer support interactions. And here's the ROI, here are the benefits, and so on, right? So I think you kind of have to do it at both levels. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Actually, this multi-level approach makes a lot of sense because, different stakeholders have different kind of perspective. They have different angles, right? And you have to kind of make it relevant to these, to these kind of audience.
Thank you for watching.